How's it going, everybody? I am Preston Johnson. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV.
You guys are general philosophy.
That's exactly right. You're a fish.
Qwan, by the way, my producer, Qwan Young, doing a good job. He'll be taking the calls. How you doing today, bud?
Hey, man, how are you?
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Welcome to the show, Bets TV, bringing you Last Word Cheetah. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Last Word Cheetah. I am Preston Johnson alongside Qwan Young, hanging over there. Say hello, do your usual wave. I think that's a tradition now we got to go with. This is a show brought to you by Last Word Cheetah. Bets TV. There he is. There he is. Say what's up. How are you doing? Good day? There's a pause. There's a pause. Not a great one.
It's an okay day. I'm excited about what we're probably going to talk about first. And confidence of some of our callers.
I mean, we can go straight into it if you want. I was going to bring up the fact that you were so confident about the CP3 MVP bet. He totally bombed last night. And granted, the Suns didn't even end up winning. But, I mean, I think it's in jeopardy now. But the Booker, the show he put on.
I said that if it goes longer than 4, it's going to be CP3. And you can kind of see last night, Devin Booker was back in form. And, you know, he's not going to stay down that long. He had a bad 10-point game. And I still think that as bad as Chris Paul has played, I wouldn't say he's in the lead. I think Booker's coming to surpass him now. But the closeout game is going to be what's important. They're still protecting home court, so I think they win in Phoenix. And then it's going to be – I think we're going to get a Chris Paul closeout game, either in Game 6 or Game 7.
And that'll just put him over the top, you think, at that point, being able to take that one down. Okay. I think you're in trouble, obviously, just because the Suns might be in trouble as a whole. Before we actually get to – we're not going to do any lead-up. I'm just going to have you play this clip. Not quite. Just a second. I need to say, this is Last Word Cheetah. We take your calls. The phone number is 661-515-BETS. You give us the winners for the day, or at least attempt to. We track them throughout the month. Right now, Mikey took a W yesterday, plus 6.9 units on the month. We give away cash. There's going to be at least $590 in the pool for this month. So at the end of the month, we'll do that. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, feel free to call throughout the show. We've opened up the phone lines. Now let's talk and I guess recall and go back and listen to one of the calls we had from yesterday, Anthony. Who was up next? Who do we have first coming in? Anthony from Jersey. We got Anthony on, man. How you doing today?
What's up, Preston? I'm doing good. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you. Tell us what you like.
I love the Suns tonight.
Ooh.
I'm expecting a Middleton classic.
Explain.
He's going to probably go 4 for 18 tonight. I mean, he has the worst shot selection in the league for an average player, so
oh my gosh.
we're hoping for a Middleton.
Hold on a second. What did Middleton do to you?
No, I mean, have you watched them in the games they've lost this year? I mean, so far.
Yeah, I mean, you called him an average player. I think that's a little extreme. That's a spicy take, just in and of itself.
He's an average player. He's an overpaid player. Can we agree at that? I want money line. It's a win tonight.
Oh, baby.
And when he shoots 4 for 30, we'll have a discussion about his
4 of 18 to 4 of 30. Look, we'll open the show with it. If he goes, Chris Middleton ended up having, Anthony, the best game he's ever played, the most important game of his life. He ends up getting to 40 points. He scores 12 of the last 14 down the stretch when they needed it most. And the 2 at the end were Drew Holiday, when they fouled one more time down 6. Drew Holiday made 2 free throws. Middleton was unreal, man. I'm not sure if we've had a call mush someone into their career highlight. Like that was the best game he's ever played, the most important moment. They needed him down 9 in that 4th. There are other things that play, or we'll get to the Booker foul trouble. Look, if coaches haven't figured out, analytics yet, that's their problem. But a lot of them say you don't sit your best player for until the 5-minute mark of the 4th when he has 5 fouls. Like, what are you saving him for? Like, I don't know. Like, you have 11 minutes left. You're gonna rest him for 6 because you're worried he might pick up a foul in the next few minutes and not have him at the end. Like, at some point he's got to trust your player to defend. Now, funny enough, Booker tried to pick up a 6th foul. He didn't call it, which was totally different story.
He absolutely did pick
he
up
hacked his arm, man. He did. And actually might have turned out better. They ended up getting a dunk. Instead, Drew doesn't have to go to the line. Maybe Drew Holiday misses a free throw or something. But Middleton, MVP of that game. And we talked about it a little bit, and then I mentioned it when I was on with Gail Alexander last night on VSiN. I said that they were trying to ask, like, so if you're going to take – if you think the Bucks win the series, why wouldn't you just take Giannis to win MVP at plus 205 instead of plus 200? And I was like, I mean, there's a chance that Middleton, it's a small, like 0.5% out there. Like if you want the extra 5 cents and just bet Giannis to win MVP of the finals, that's fine. But there is going to be a small fraction where Middleton just scores 40 the next 3 games and the Bucks win the series, and Middleton might win MVP, or maybe Giannis re-hurts his knee and the Bucks still actually win the series. Like there's a few times that can happen, but now Middleton, he drops 40. He starts it off thanks to Anthony. I hope he calls in later. I hope he's not offended. We're ragging on Carlos yesterday, right? We have Anthony on right now. All right, Patrick, I know you also called in, and I think you were first, but we have to let Anthony, we have to push Anthony through because we're like he just, I mean, Middleton just had the greatest game of his life. So Anthony, tell us what in the hell happened last night.
Look, everybody has bad takes like you and the Reds every year. You know, we can't hit them all. I mean, look. It was the Chris Middleton Make-A-Wish game. I mean, come on, everybody has one. He had one. They blessed him with it. The guy shot the ball fucking 50 times. Of course, he put up a 40-burger. I mean, cut me a break. The guy stinks. I don't want to hear any of this Chris Middleton. He's like a top 70 player in the league.
70?
Well, that's better than average. So you've at least moved him up to your top 70.
Like, to me, I was going like superstar, star, average. That's how I'm looking at it.
So you're looking like you're like, I don't know, like Kyle Korver average, or like Kevin Huerter average.
No, Kevin Huerter's an elite player. I mean, one, he's a rare breed. I mean, respect it. He's a rare breed.
Yeah.
And then, two, he's an elite player.
I actually tend to agree. Red Velvet, man. It's one of the best nicknames.
Wait a minute.
In the NBA.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
This tier maker is out of control. 7. Can I ask Anthony, who would you say is at 50? If Middleton's, what'd you say, top 70? Who, like, give me somebody outside.
Luka?
I mean, that's a layup.
Luka's a top 50. I don't know. I don't have a fucking 1 to 100. Let me think. 50. Let's say.
Make you call back at the end of the show and make them write out all.
I need a tier maker.
Yeah, want a top 100? I mean, that would take forever. But give me Lonzo Ball, 50th.
Oh wow! And I'm from LA. I'm a Lakers fan, and I love me some Lonzo, but. Lonzo 20 spots ahead of Middleton. It's still spicy, man. I'm just so excited that it went down the way it did last night, especially those final buckets down the stretch to win the game, tie the series at 2-2. Before we have to get to our first break, Anthony, do you want to bet something
Preston,
today? Do you want to go to the baseball game or something else?
Yeah, and I also need to say that I took the Suns like on a stupid free bet, $50 free bet in December, 60-1. So that loss last night was just like a triple anal.
Oh wow, yeah, that hurts. Now I feel bad rubbing it in a little bit because it was Middleton that did it to him. You know that as soon as you said that and it was in the existence.
Called the guy trash and he put
Yeah,
up
you were done.
So.
Yeah, the 60-1 has no shot now. That's actually pretty good info. Everyone should hammer Bucks.
You're on the Bucks now?
I mean, yeah, knowing that you have a 60-1 free bet that was about to cash, and then you jinx Middleton into his stardom. Like, there's no way Milwaukee doesn't win the series now.
Oh, I can't wait. Chris Paul, I mean, what is Chris Paul fixing games with Scott Foster? They're like faking this.
He heard the call he heard the call yesterday.
He's throwing him with him.
You want to throw something in for tonight's baseball game, Red Sox Yankees?
Oh yeah,
go for it.
Give me the Red Sox. They're a fucking wagon. Give me the Sox.
I've heard those words
Domingo
for a few years, but
Herman,
I'll give you minus.
Domingo Herman probably might not even start tonight if we're being honest. He might have a little incident in the tunnel. And then we'll go from there. Give me the Bo Sox, and I'll
give you minus 102.
Tomorrow.
That's the best price I see at Circa. We got to take a break. Anthony, thanks for calling in. We appreciate the time. Patrick, stay on the line. We appreciate you waiting. We'll be back on the other side. 661-515-BETS. You have a good week, too. Talk to you later. Talked to Anthony before the break. Now we have Patrick, who has been waiting for about 9 or 10 minutes on the line. So we appreciate the patience, but we had to get Anthony's perspective on his Chris Middleton as an average player turned, MVP of the game last night, dropping 40. Patrick, are you going Red Sox Yankees tonight? Can we break this down? Do you have a W for us on the diamond?
No, you know what? I'm pretty impartial on that game, but I do have to say, if Bet TV doesn't give Anthony his own show where he's spewing hot takes, it's a huge opportunity lost.
That's a great point. We were talking about it in the break, actually. Like, why isn't this guy getting his own segment at least? Yeah.
No, he just needs that Jersey accent, and it would be even better. But anyway, I would like to actually jump ahead to Saturday's basketball game and bet Giannis under 0.5 3-pointers at plus 110, which I see at DraftKings.
Sure. We'll luck
and I've done my homework on this. So the last two series, he's gone 3 from 19 from 3, and he's 12 for 66 in the playoffs in total. His attempts have declined from approximately, 4 per game in the first two series to closer to 2 per game in the last two series. And he's not made a 3-pointer in 5 out of the last 8 games. So I'm banking on the odds of him making a 3 will be less than the implied probability of 48% at plus 110. So that's what I'm going to go with.
Let me just look up something. So it's interesting because he's obviously shot poor from 3 during this playoff run. I think you said 12 of 66, right? So generally, like if you're looking at that percentage where he's shooting like sub 20%, then it's great. He's still, like, for the last 3 years, I think, shooting roughly over 30% combined from 3. So you're either dealing with the sample size of 66 or all of them. If he were to shoot 3 threes in the game, my guess is that it's a 0.7, so it'd be like 0.49. Yeah, I think you're basically hoping he attempts 2 or fewer threes. If you're
which I mean that's how it's been trending as well. Which I mean I don't watch enough basketball to know why his attempts have declined over the last 2 series, but I'm hoping that trend continues and that his poor shooting continues as well.
It could. No,
so
you're absolutely right.
The odds given seem decent based on what he's done over the last 2 series.
it's interesting to see the market react to what he's done recently from something that's pretty random, like a 3-point shot. That's why I was kind of just like thinking this through as you brought it up. I look up, he's been 30.4, 30.3% the last 2 years. Like that's pretty steady, but the market and everyone that's betting is looking at, well, what has he done the last month and a half? So I'm intrigued now. I'm going to follow that one closely. I would be inclined, I think, to actually bet the other way, just because. That's just kind of what the numbers would say over the whole. But if he's only taking 1 or 2, or even 0, obviously, then you're golden. So, yeah, thanks for the call, Patrick. We appreciate you waiting again.
All right, see you guys.
We have anyone on hold by chance? We do? All right, we'll bring him in. I just got to say he's probably not listening. Scott Blumstein, former main event champion, 2017. He just texted me. What are the odds of a 10%, 12%, and 30% event happening? Won the main event 4 years ago. Just multiply them all together. Ha. Okay, Scott, we'll work on that, bud. Let's bring in, who do we have next? Last word, Cheetah. This is Preston. What do you have for us tonight?
Hey, Preston's Bob.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you. What do you have? Last night you had something. I forget. It was Koepka, and then I saw some tweet about him saying that he needed to like switch his driver or his clubs or something. I guess it didn't go very well.
No, I didn't take DeChambeau though, right? I was thinking Brooks Koepka.
Oh, okay. So it was different. Is DeChambeau that was complaining about his clubs?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and his company came back. Cobra came back, and I think called him an 8-year-old. So.
They're already going at it again.
That was awesome. But hey, so who's pitching? Who's the starting pitcher for the Red Sox tonight?
Rodriguez, I believe, right? I'll just double check for you real quick. It's Rodriguez and Harriman. Yep, Rodriguez.
It's really just a setup for a good joke here. I think he's average. So
actually, wasn't Bob the one that was saying that, like, yeah, the balls are flying off the tee yesterday, or something about Koepka? Why he liked Koepka to win? And so yeah, you can just keep needling all the other callers before you. That's perfect. Do my job for me.
You know what? I'm an easy target, so they could pick on every loss or just every.
That's fair too.
But yeah. So I'm going to take. I think the Red Sox are 6-0 against the Yankees, so I'll just take them on the run line tonight.
Ooh, all right. Let me pull up the run line prices. You're going to get. Let's see. Well, you're taking the +1.5, or you want to go reverse? Most shops they're the slight underdog.
Oh, really? Well, I'm saying they won, I think, by an average of 3 runs a game. So I'll say Red Sox -1.5.
Okay, so I can probably find an alternate price for you on that. Most books are just lining up +1.5 on screen, and I have a screen. Let me actually dig up, like, for example, I think like DraftKings, little alternate run lines. Red Sox -1.5. I can give you +155. Does that work?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a very good price if they're the dog and the Yankees are like +165. There's probably a better price out there. I feel like that's cheating you a little bit. I'll give you +165. We'll lock it in at +165. I think that's going to be closer to fair.
All right. Thanks much.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the call.
We have another caller calling in. It's it's Anthony. I have no idea what's about to happen. He called back in.
All right, everybody push record. Anthony, do you want to change your mind on the Red Sox call for tonight? What's going on?
Anita Marks' husband just faded me, so we're gonna fade the shit out of him. I need the Yankees now. I mean, this guy, Bob, he called in yesterday and was like, oh, yeah, buddy's really hitting it on the driving range. I mean, cut me a fucking break, buddy.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, when Carlos is like, oh, yeah, the balls are flying out last night in the home run derby. I got to take the over in the All-Star game.
Like, yeah,
and now he's like, I love Koepka because they're flying off his club on the driving range. I'm sorry. It's more funny to me probably than anyone actually listening or watching. So you're switching then to the Yankees just because Bob went the other way. You snap called in too.
Bob was.
Oh yeah, I mean this clown. I mean, come on. He can hate all he wants.
Come on, Anthony. Bob's a nice. Listen, Bob wasn't even like a half a minute through the call. call back.
He's a clown. Yeah, tell Bob he's fucking average, all right?
I'm crying right now.
Tonight. I like the Yankees, and I like them huge. I want Yankees to run line. He was on the run line. Give me it the other way. And take it to the bank.
You know what's going to happen? Neither of you. I can't even talk. Neither of you are going to be right. The Red Sox are going to win by 1, or the Yankees are going to win by 1, and they're both going to lose. If I could log that in right now, I would. We're switching you. I can give you plus 165 on the run line for the Yankees. We're locking it in. You're switching. You heard Bob say Red Sox, and within 3 seconds, you'd call back. He'd call back in. Now Quan's crying. All right, I just want to double check. You're locking it in now. Yankees minus 1.5, plus 165.
Yeah, 100%. And Bob got his pick,
Perfect. Anthony, we appreciate the comedy, the love, the takes. We have to take a break now. I lost track of time, so I apologize for those that actually need us to take a break. We're going to be back on the other side. We'll take your calls for a few more minutes after that. We'll talk Big Ten futures. I'll wrap up my final 4 teams there. Little Qwan fades, a little more Game 5 NBA Finals. We'll be back soon. Thanks. This is Last Word Cheetah. Man, I haven't laughed that hard since Pikachu was in the studio talking to the other direction because he had a mask on. He couldn't see out of it. He was talking the wrong way for like 2 minutes straight. And then before that, I don't remember. It's been like a year. So I apologize. We welcome everyone back. This is Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV. Welcome also the viewers from Game Plus Network. We have, I think, at least one more caller on the line. We'll hit those. We'll take one more break after that before we start Big Ten talk. Carlos, I believe it was, right? Carlos, what's up, man? How you doing today?
What's going on, man? Wow, there's a lot of animosity going on. I was scared to call in.
I couldn't tell you. I didn't know Anthony and Bob had it out for each other, but clearly there's something going on. I'm just waiting for Bob to call back and actually switch his pick to the Yankees and just screw Anthony over, and that makes Anthony probably have to call back and go the other way. We'll see if anything crazy happens in the next 30 minutes. Who do you like tonight? Are you going to the baseball game as well?
You know, I am going to the baseball game. I'm going to take the over. 10. What is it, 10?
I can give you 9.5 minus 113 at Pinnacle.
Give me
you want to do that?
9.5.
It's better than 10.
Yeah, why not? Yes, it is.
Or you could go 10 plus money. You could go 10 plus 100. That's actually maybe slightly better off the top of my head. But I'll go 9.5. I know people like to have the half run better. We'll give that to you. Any reason why? First game back, look, the arms are rested. Most of the pitchers haven't thrown in a while.
Really. Nope.
No?
Nope. I was just laughing too.
Did you text your daughter?
No. I'm laughing at Anthony and Bob. Keep it going. Keep it going.
It's a rivalry.
Just leave me out of it, Anthony. I don't
leave me out of it. Just give me the over.
Nobody.
Give me the over, right?
That's great, man. Carlos, we'll lock you in. I'll give you the 9.5. I'm hoping for runs too. Something exciting tonight. There's nothing else on really, so I'll be following along. Good luck.
Exactly.
Take care.
Thank you.
Whew.
We got another call.
All right, welcome to Last Word Cheetah. I'm not sure who this is. Qwan said it very reluctantly. This is Preston. Who are we talking with?
Anthony.
Yo, what's up? This is Doug. I'm back with another future for you, but I actually got a pick for tonight's game as well.
Okay, hit us with the game tonight, and then if you have another future you want to throw out, we'll go with that too.
I mean, I hate to fade Carlos, but I'm going to go with the under, and I'll tell you why. So you got to think about who's in the dugout for the Red Sox. You got Alex Cora. The man's a known cheater. You give Alex Cora 3 days to figure out a new sticky substance, and you're telling me he's not coming up with something? They're going to be doctored up. Baseballs are going to be sticking. They're going to be spinning. People are going to be getting out. It's that simple.
Okay, I can give you 10 minus 115. That's the best price under. So I'll give you the 10 minus 115. If it lands 10, Carlos can win. You can at least push, but that's now back-to-back calls that as soon as they possibly could, they hurried and called and faded the caller before.
These guys are ruthless.
They're getting pretty sharp, actually, when they realized, like, wow, these callers went on a 1-14 run the end of June.
It is no telling what happens when the Qwan fade segment hit. They're calling me off.
I'm actually intrigued now.
I'm afraid for my life.
That's going to be good. Hey, what's the you want to leave us with another golf feature you want to add for the weekend?
No, NFL future. You know,
NFL.
Another QB for.
Okay, throw one out.
He's about to call somebody trash.
No. I'm just going to go Justin Fields to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Okay. I mean, I am going to call Trevor Lawrence trash because he is. But other than that, that's all I got for you.
All right, man. We appreciate the call, Doug. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
I think he was the Winston caller, right, yesterday? Yeah. Okay, that makes more
Winston
sense.
Winston and MVP.
Yeah, he's a Dak Prescott's average.
Yeah.
Drew Brees cost him 4 Super Bowls the last 10 years, which we got to talk more Taysom Hill after the break we're going to take right now. This is Last Word Cheetah. Calls will be open. Lines will be open for the next 30 minutes. 661-515-BETS. We'll talk to you soon. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Preston Johnson here with Qwan Young. He said right when we get back from break, even though we have a caller, I think, on hold, which we'll get to in just a minute, he wants to talk Red Sox Yankees. Or do you want to go caller first and then get into it? What do you think? You want to just be courteous and let the caller talk first? All right, he needs time. Let's take the call. Patch him through. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah. Who am I talking to?
This is Sarb, man. How's it going?
Hey, dude. We pump you up with those 6 straight first quarter overs and then now 2 in a row. No dice. I think they're falling apart for you.
I'm done with them, man. The series is getting too tight. I'm done with them.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes as the series progresses anyway. The total now is sitting 218, right? Game 5. That's kind of where I think it should have been regardless, which I'd mentioned the last few games. So anyways, you got to go baseball then I think tonight, or are you finding something obscure?
Yeah, no, I'm going baseball. I want to go over first 5.
Ooh, okay. No one's gone that direction. We had an over with Carlos, but he took the 9.5. I can give you, hold on. I can give you 5.5 plus 105. 5.5 plus 105.
That
Tell us
works
why.
for me.
Okay.
No, I'm just I'm not a big fan of either of these 2 pitchers, so just going over Yankee Stadium, hoping for some fireworks.
Right on. We appreciate it, man. As usual. Good luck tonight. We'll talk to you later.
You too. Thanks.
Preston.
Hold on a second. I'm a little intrigued just because we've had some callers that want to bet over in this game because it's all Yankees, Red Sox, etc. Generally, the thought is that these pitchers are super rested. Starters to relievers. I think I know what you're about to say. Should we just patch them in now? Anthony, if you really...
I hate to be the stop. I don't want to keep calling in, but this slander has to stop. And Carlos is the worst picker this show's had called in, so we're fading the shit out of him. I need the Yankees and the under parlayed. I mean, it has to stop right now. I'm putting an end to all of it. Carlos is probably 1 for 30 on his 31 picks on this show, so in real life, he's probably 1 for 100.
You know the one win was his daughter, too. He said before.
Stop agonizing.
This slander has to stop. So we're just, I want to keep it brief. It's Yankees. We're not on the run line anymore either because that clown Bob, forget a run line. It's Yankees money line, and it's the under. Lock it in. That's all I have to say for today. We'll be back tomorrow, probably talking Reds.
I can't wait. I'm going to probably pay you to come back and call tomorrow 3 times. Anthony, we love you. Take it easy, bud. Just a second before I let you talk Red Sox, Yankees, Qwan.
No.
I got to price this in. I'll let you get over that. I got to give. So he's just going for, no longer run line. So he's just going money line. But he's like, wow, I can fade Bob and Carlos at the same time.
Preston, I cannot do Red Sox, Yankees. Listen, I have a really fragile ego right now. And if Anthony calls in, I'm not going to answer.
All right, he said he's done. He's cool. But we're giving him, it's plus 267, under 10, and the Yankees to win. Plus 267. So I know you've made a bunch of crosses on your notebook on what he's actually
Oh, my
picked.
God.
Plus 267 parlay. Man, after what he did to Chris Middleton and the Phoenix Suns yesterday, oh, man, I kind of hope he wins this one at least. I'd feel better about everything that's going on.
We got to start, we got to start Big Ten futures. But right now, Bob is calling back in.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm not starting Big Ten futures.
You want to hear what Bob
Yeah, we're bringing in Bob right now.
We
of course
got to
we're
hear
bringing
what
him
Bob
in.
has to say. Bob, you're on with Preston.
Welcome back. What do you got for us?
Well, I'm just wondering, do you have odds or over-unders on how many times anybody calls the show on a given day?
Well, no one's ever called in twice in a show, and Anthony went to 3 times in 40 minutes. So, yeah, 35 minutes. So he surpassed that.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I was joking. I was about when the balls were flying off of Brooks Koepka's gloves yesterday. I was just, and so I don't want anybody.
He took it seriously, man.
Bob got caught.
He took it personal.
I'm just playing. So I just want my esteemed colleague from New Jersey to feel the love from Washington State.
There it is.
All good.
That's it. That's what it's about.
Thanks, Bob. We'll keep you on the Red Sox. For some reason, I think that's the right side now because of Anthony's track record with Middleton and the Suns. Take it easy, man. He was making a joke about the balls flying off. And then Anthony's like, of course he can hit them far off the driving range tees. Who is this guy?
Anthony does not give a damn about any of your emotions. He's here to win $590 and call everybody trash. That's my kind of guy.
All right, here's the deal. We have the last 4 teams that I have ranked 1 through 14 for the Big Ten. We need to get through them. I'm going to do it. I think we'll go first team Michigan. Michigan State and Maryland are essentially tied for what it's worth. So people that are like looking at the graphic now, they're 1 spot away from each other in the mid 60s of my power ratings. A little bit higher on them than like Phil Steele for some context. I think both teams have some upside, and it's interesting to see that despite having similarly projected strength of schedules, one of them has a season win total of 4.5. One of them has a season win total of 6. I personally think the Sparty schedule is slightly tougher, but I still have this projected over a 5-win team, or at least 5 or more on average, enough that 4.5 is worth betting over. So I am going over on Sparty. Strange season last year. Obviously, they're kind of like trying to revamp, and D'Antonio leaves, and it's kind of a rebuild and reset. But they're a team that has top tier recruiting generally. They also are a team that can rely defensively on that side of the football to at least keep them in games late. They have had an offense that obviously has really struggled, quarterback play that hasn't been there. But Mel Tucker now in year 2, after the year ones of a lot of these coaches, when the year 1 was like the COVID season, I kind of just tend to, again, you can't throw it out, but it's tough to put a lot of stock in it at the same time. And if I recall, they were one of the teams that hired him like right before spring ball or spring practice, or like it was so close to where they really had no time together prior to playing football games in the Big Ten. So it was a strange season. I think as a whole, the talent grades out for Michigan State to being at least a 5-win team. So this is actually one of my favorite plays, excuse me, for the Big Ten futures. Quarterback play is really the question because they've struggled again on that side of the ball. Accuracy, deep shots down the field. Defensively, again, I think they rated, they're still top 25 team in EPA defensively last year. Yep, 24th. They were 98th in offensively. And so Peyton Thorne and Anthony Rousseau. Thorne played a game last year, was okay. Anthony Rousseau's at Temple. I think he's the guy that should end up getting it. He's 6'4", 245. He played a few seasons at Temple and did a pretty good job. I think he can kind of game manage the way the Sparty usually likes to play games and rely on the defense and their offense. Every single snap from last year returns this season, which I think is big on the offensive line, I should say. So better quarterback play. I like Anthony Rousseau on the upside there behind an offensive line that played every single snap last season, and a defense that should just be top 25 range again. We're locking in Sparty over the 4.5, but again, not a team that I'm really even bothering. None of these teams, let's be honest, we're not firing division, conference, or national title odds on Rutgers, Maryland, Sparty, or any of those. So we're going to pause there. We'll get more into Maryland because I think they are an interesting team. Tagovailoa, we got Tua's brother over there, played a few games last year. I think he played in 4 of their 5 that they played. They had some COVID stuff and didn't play too many games. Then we'll talk Rutgers, which is really hard to find Rutgers lines anywhere, especially in the U.S. if you're not in Nevada, because they play in New Jersey, and a ton of books, even offshore, who copy all of the books in the U.S. and New Jersey don't even have them up either. So we have a couple prices. We found a few spots. We'll talk Rutgers briefly, and then Illinois, the bottom of the barrel for me of the Big Ten. We'll be back on the other side, taking the break now. 661-515-BETS if you want to get any more calls in. We'll talk to you soon. Wait. Welcome back, everybody. We were just leaving off with Big Ten futures, going through my bottom 4 teams in the conference. If you missed it right before the break, I like Sparty over 4.5. My projections 5.1. I think that year 2, Mel Tucker, no weird COVID offseason. The talent, the recruiting classes they've had the last few years prior, the returning experience there, the transfer with Anthony Rousseau, quarterback, an offensive line that returns every snap. There's upside, and I can always trust their defense. Hopefully now that doesn't go the other way. But their defense is at least where their strength is consistently and has been every year. Maryland's the next team that I have. So I had Michigan State 64th in my power ratings, Maryland 65. They're essentially similarly rated. If they played on a neutral field, it would be a pick'em game, I think. PFF's a lot higher on Maryland. I'm not sure if it's because of the recruiting with Tagovailoa, who transfers over and had a pretty good season last year. I think people were really impressed in one of their games was of the opener, not the opener. After they got crushed by Northwestern, they lost by like 40. Then they played Minnesota. He won an overtime game. It was crazy. Everyone's loving it. Then they beat Penn State on the road. Then they had a bunch of cancellations. They only played 2 more games, and he only played in one of them. But they lost to, Indiana and Rutgers. So it was a weird 2-5 season. But it's interesting. You look in, and I was looking at their EPA numbers in 5 Big Ten games. They actually graded out top 30, both offensively and defensively, which I was very interested in. So 29th offensively, 22nd defensively. You look at their EPA actual margin, and it was, I think, top 15 in the country. So can they kind of capitalize on what Loxley brought to the table going over to Maryland? It's an offense that is pretty intricate. And, I was reading about Tagovailoa and how he did miss a lot of reads when he wasn't throwing to the other team. He was one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the country. Again, he only played in 4 games, but it's data that I think somewhat reputable and trustworthy. And now another year, not a COVID year, and more of an offseason and practicing with this Mike Loxley offense. By the way, for those who are not familiar, Loxley was at Alabama as an offensive coordinator prior to taking over at Maryland. I think there's a ton of upside there. You have an extremely explosive offense, especially in the run game. They run outside zones. They have opportunity there. So they're a team I'm generally bullish on. Unfortunately, the win total's 6, and I'm a little bit higher. I'm a 6.2 personally, but not enough for me to take a shot. I was hoping, or if you're out shopping, you can get 5.5s. I would be betting those, but Quan's laughing at me over there. I'm not sure if someone's trying to call in because we're not answering it this time while I go through Rutgers, who we're moving on to. And like I said, most people can't even bet. I said this before the break. Rutgers, they're in New Jersey. No one in New Jersey offers it. So a lot of places that copy offshore globally, they're not even offering Rutgers stuff. We found a couple, in Vegas, you can bet them 5,000 to 1 to win it all if you want. I don't. I think 4 is a fairly fair number. And Schiano, I thought, did some good things when he took over last year. Both sides of the ball. He's a defensive-minded guy. He was the defensive coordinator at Ohio State prior. And to have a secondary defensive line that grade out pretty well, and an offense that probably can only improve from 2019 to 2020. They have room to improve there. I should just point out their EPA numbers. They were 112th offensively. So if they can maybe even get into being, say, a top 80 to 90 team, right, slightly below average relative to the rest of the country, and their defense is above average, you might have a Rutgers team that actually can win 4 or 5 games. So I think the 4 is fair. I think most people look at that and be like, Rutgers football. What in the world? How is this 4? They were winning 0-1, 2 games for multiple seasons straight. They won 3 alone last year in 9 conference games. Now you add in a schedule. Excuse me. Anthony made me cry so much that I'm like,
it's a lot of phlegm.
Yeah. I'm struggling. But I'm not even kidding. So I keep clearing my throat, but we're good. We're good. I'm surviving. So I'm pulling up their schedule right now. I didn't have it in front of me, but I wanted to point out that outside of going 3-9 in 9 conference games, now they play at Temple, Syracuse, Delaware in an FCS game. So they have opportunities to even add to that. So I think the 4 is fair. And I think most people probably seeing a Rutgers at 4 win, how are they ever winning 5 games in the Big Ten? This is Rutgers. I think they absolutely could, especially if they end up being better than, say, Maryland or Michigan State. Illinois, for sure, who we can turn to now, is the bottom of the barrel for me very slightly. If Illinois and Rutgers met on a neutral field, I'd only have the Rutgers like not even a 51% favorite, but slightly more than 50. So I mean they're neck and neck. They have similar rated strength of schedules. They're both Rutgers is 37th, Illinois is 34. So why is Illinois 3.5 instead of 4? Well, it might be a fair question. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that you can't really trust their offense. And now Rutgers, you can say the same thing. You can make the same argument. You can make that argument with a lot of Big Ten teams just because defensively it's so difficult to hang. But Brandon Peters, he's basically been the same quarterback for multiple seasons. He doesn't really drop back a ton. And I don't know, he's maybe shown some flashes, but his pass grade at PFF, I should just say, when he drops back, was 85th last season in the country. When he has a clean pocket, it's actually worse. It's 105th. He's been, I think, randomly pretty good against pressure. But it's like if you have a quarterback you're trusting that just can't even make accurate throws when you have a clean pocket, it's just going to be difficult to count on him going forward. So in general, despite I think what's going to be a healthy and productive offensive line, they're just not going to have weapons for Peters or a quarterback that can even make the throws overall. And so that's why I have them rated a little lower than Rutgers when it's all said and done. Nothing worth betting. My personal projection's right at 3.5. And again, not betting any conference division national title odds there. So that's the wrap, man. Today, main play, Michigan State over 4.5. I think that is worthwhile. I think that's value. I think they're going to win at least 5 games this season. So we'll add that and we'll recap tomorrow with Ray, who will definitely be on tomorrow this time to talk Big Ten.
Preston.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here listening to you talk gloriously about the Big Ten at the bottom of the barrel.
And to wrap through it. Yeah, go.
And I'm trying to prepare for Qwan fades because there's an enormous amount of pressure on me with Anthony lurking and listening to the show.
I mean, he's tracking Carlos. Did you hear him? He said 1-31.
So listen, I Google Yankees versus Boston, and the first thing that pops up, Yankees Red Sox tonight postponed due to New York Yankees COVID-19 issue.
Wait, that just happened?
Yeah, about 14 minutes ago.
Oh my gosh.
We just had an all-out brawl back and forth between two of our most beloved callers and a newcomer on the block for absolutely no reason.
If anything, it just verifies like how mushy everyone is that calls. Plus Qwan answering the calls. It's like the jinx, there's just no end. They're going back and forth. Anthony's trying to fade so-and-so who calls in before he's parlaying, and then only to get it canceled from COVID. Like, that's the only explanation. I'm not shocked in any way.
It's fadeception. The fader who fades the fader always gets faded. That's it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that was PTSD. Listen, you got to throw to a break. We got one last call. We're going to talk some Taysom Hill.
We are. I might get a little bit heated, but we're going to do it after the break. I can't believe that game was canceled, man. I'm bummed. Now, what is everyone watching tonight? Call in and tell me what Netflix series I should fire up, something new. 661-515-BETS if you want to get one more call in. We're going to talk to someone who's on my side, likes Taysom Hill. Qwan does not. We'll find out why after the break. All right, so I was disappointed to end the show yesterday. With about 45 seconds left, you start slandering Taysom Hill's name. I slammed the desk. I waved the helmet like in your face. You're like, oh, he's a BYU guy.
Is that what I sound like?
That's exactly what it sounded like. Of course he is. You knew he was. Tell us why you don't like Taysom Hill. And then we got Derek Brown, friend of the program, over at FTN. You're shouting him out with a shirt over there, too. He's going to call in. He said on Twitter yesterday, he's like, I'm Team Taysom as well. So we high-fived virtually. I said, you got to call in and back me up here because Qwan, no good on Hill. You tell us why, and then we're going to let Derek patch. We'll patch him in and he can talk for you.
Don't like is such a, I guess.
You said like he's not a real quarterback or something of that nature.
No, he's absolutely not. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's a gadget player. Like, I understand from a production standpoint and value, like how he's probably a DFS guy because you're getting a guy who's playing multiple positions. He can rack up multiple points, and that stands out. But from a football game-winning aspect for, we're covering NFL futures tomorrow, and I'm doing the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm not going to make a Tebow comparison.
Oh, gosh.
But it's the same neighborhood. Like, you're getting a more apt type player. He's a guy that's changed positions. He could do multiple things. Like you're telling me, I think Julian Edelman, college quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those like Cordell Stewart, like those guys aren't world beaters. They're gonna get you production. You're gonna be on your heels on defense. You have to game plan for them because it's a different package. But as far as straight out quarterbacking, Taysom Hill, I wouldn't even say is.
Careful.
Oh, look, you looked at me. Listen,
Careful.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to say or I'm not going to go Anthony and do anything super crazy, but Taysom Hill's not a top 32 quarterback. He's not a starting quarterback in this league.
All right, Derek, let's patch him in. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah, by the way, I think for the very first time. We hung out in Frisco and Dallas a couple weeks back. Back me up here. Tell Qwan why he's wrong. I can't be the one that does it because technically I'm biased. I went to BYU. I'm a huge Hill homer. But you give us like the in-between but unbiased perspective here.
What's going on, guys? First-time caller, long-time listener. I can't believe I'm sitting here in the green screen waiting for you to bring me on, and I can't understand and listen to this slander from Qwan, man. This is insane. What is – did you just compare him to Tim Tebow? I can understand
that's an
people make the tight end jokes, but really, this is a man we've seen practice videos that can't even throw a ball 5 yards down the field. Is that really where the hate is going, Qwan?
It's an exaggeration to an extent.
He's backing up already.
He's not a quarterback. I'm telling you, if you give Taysom Hill 10 passes, how many is he gonna play? I know you have it worked out, Derek, because you work at FTN where we have player props and all of this data. So please explain to me on a 10 out of 10 clip, how many times are you trusting Taysom Hill to hit somebody deep downfield or drive you down the field for some type of score? Like for me, quarterbacking is every play. You're making the throws, you're making the reads. Taysom Hill's not an every down quarterback. He's a gadget guy. Like you're not getting, I think football games, you're getting about 60 to 70 plays on both sides of the ball. You're not getting 60 to 70 plays out of Taysom Hill.
So I'll push back on that. If you go back and look at what he did at BYU, his numbers would surprise a lot of people with his accuracy in short and intermediate passes. Is he a great deep ball passer and getting through progressions? No, not necessarily. But what they're going to ask him to do in New Orleans, I think he's going to add enough wrinkles with his legs that he's going to be good enough for them. And the rest of that offense is still amazing. Like, I think the hate's gone too far, Qwan.
So listen, I just want to isolate. I want to isolate one sentence that you said. He's a good intermediate and short ball passer, but he's not going to hit the deep ball. And I believe you said, what was that? It was something else. If you're looking for a quarterback that's just going to kill it underneath, you're not looking for a quarterback. which is exactly what Taysom Hill is.
What are you
But
talking
that's
about?
what they've done in New Orleans for multiple seasons.
And then
That's the whole reason why they don't want Jameis to start.
But that's the issue. Like if you're just dumping it intermediate, you can't hit deep balls. It's the same thing we're saying about Drew Brees. Drew Brees probably hasn't won a big game because he hasn't been able to move the ball downfield. He's matriculating.
Either of you guys know this. Here's a stat. Taysom Hill doesn't even throw the ball that frequently. Which quarterback over the last 2 seasons has had the most touchdown passes called back on penalties? Interesting.
Ooh.
I know it's usually trick plays, so the flags are more frequent. They mess something up. He's hit some deep balls that haven't actually registered in his stat profile. Just saying. Something I noted once upon a time.
He's got the arm strength. I mean,
Yeah.
I question the accuracy some, but I mean, I'm going to put him with Breeze, who toward the end had a noodle arm left. I mean, he might not be accurate, but he's got a cannon.
I'm with you, Derek. I'm with you. Quan's I think he's cowering over there.
I'm not cowering. If you don't
are.
want an accurate deep ball quarterback,
walking.
I prefer an accurate deep ball quarterback out of anything.
What about one that can run and throw intermediate and short at the same time?
No,
It's not
I
bad.
need an accurate deep ball quarterback.
We gotta go to our break, Derek. We appreciate you calling in to just wrap for a few minutes, though, man. Good luck to this weekend, and you enjoy your night.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks,
Hey, man,
y'all for
take it
having me.
easy, and welcome to everyone and thank you to everyone that called. It was a ridiculous show. Now we have a canceled game tonight with the Red Sox and Yankees. We don't know what to do. How about call back tomorrow? 661-515-BETS is our number. This is Last Word Cheetah. We'll be back at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. Friday, Space Jam, by the way. Maybe we go out with that graphic if Qwan can figure it out. Space Jam, locals, come see us.